All right, we're tracking the hostage release process that has begun as Hamas is expected to release Israeli hostages in just a short while from now. That's the latest we're tracking. Visuals coming in from Israel at the moment as final hostages are expected to return home. The nightmare is expected to end. Geopolitical analysts have been questioning whether the ceasefire is likely to last, considering the historical notion of ceasefires being very fragile in this area. Is this a true turning point as far as the future of Gaza is concerned? That remains the big question. Arjun joins us live from the newsroom at the moment to take us through the live coverage as the hostages are released. Arjun, take us through what's happening at the moment.
Well, on the screens right now, we have hostages' families and well-wishers. Right there, you see, this is from the hostages square in Tel Aviv. But elsewhere, Parmeshwar, I'd like to point out that what we are learning right now is that the first release is set to include 6 hostages. That's right, out of the 20 living hostages, we're just picking up right now, and the news is breaking on your channel, NDTV, before anyone else, that the first set of hostages will be 6 living hostages released by Hamas, and that is about to happen any moment now. Meanwhile, PM Benjamin and his wife Sarah Netanyahu are also penning handwritten notes for the soon-to-be released hostages. We're giving to understand that the hostages will be released from 3 locations by Hamas. They'll be handed over to the Red Cross Society. As we've seen, they will be then transferred to the IDF, who will take them to the Raim Air Base in southern Israel. Now, this airbase is the same airbase where all released hostages till now are being taken. They'll be ID'd, their families will be there, and if there are any medical or other conditions, they'll be immediately transferred to hospitals via helicopters and choppers. Now, this will be the process once the freed hostages, in fact, are received by the IDF and Israeli forces. But right now, as we see there on the screen, Parmeshwar, visuals coming straight from the hostages square live in Tel Aviv, prayers, anticipation, and hope. Back to you.
Right. In fact, we are being told that visuals are currently coming in, Arjun, of vehicles marked with the logo of the International Committee of the Red Cross, which are expected to carry released Palestinian prisoners and detainees. They can be seen on the move in Gaza's Khan Yunis, according to the latest coming in from Reuters at the moment. Aditya Raj Kaul is also tracking the latest for us. Aditya, in just a few moments from now, we are expecting to witness the hostage release. Take us, meanwhile, through the specific elements that are part of Trump's proposed Gaza peace plan, and whether the formal document has been released yet, and whether it's being adhered to, what both parties are saying regarding that.
Others had decided at this particular stage was that as part of the Gaza peace plan, within 72 hours of Israel approving the Gaza peace plan, all the hostages would be released. And this means also the living hostages as well as the mortal remains of all the dead. And that's why the list of the 20 was discussed. But now it's been told that not 20, but 22 hostages are alive and that they could be released anytime now. As Arjun was also pointing out, the International Red Cross is the agency which the Hamas will be returning the living hostages to, and then thereafter, mortal remains. What will really happen right now is that in Khan Yunis, in Gaza, we'll have the handing over ceremony, and then the International Red Cross will hand over all the living hostages to, Israel. And this will happen with the IDF. And at this particular stage, of course, we are waiting for them. Thereafter, there would be side by side the release of the prisoners, close to 2,000 prisoners that will also eventually happen, the Palestinian prisoners. Some of them are very dreaded terrorists of the Hamas who are responsible for several bomb attacks, terror attacks and massacres of the Israeli citizens. But a big day, really. There are a lot of preparations that have happened. The Israeli Air Force is on standby for the evacuation process of all the hostages that will be taking place. Apart from that, we have a lot of hospitals and medical care centers on standby across Israel who are waiting for the hostages to be released. The hostage square at Tel Aviv is brimming with people, thousands of people there. And at the sea near Tel Aviv, there's a huge banner saying, "Thank you, Mr. Trump," to welcome Donald Trump. So it will be, of course, Donald Trump at the Egypt Gaza Peace Summit as well, where India's representative Kirti Vardhan Singh, the Union Minister for State for External Affairs, will be participating as well. There will be Mahmoud Abbas, the president of Palestine, and a lot of global leaders. So I think Trump will certainly take the highlight, even though he did not get the Nobel Prize really, but he will take the highlight for the peace deal that Gaza has really shaped. And finally, after 2 years of abduction from the Hamas terror group, all the hostages would be coming home.
Right. Aditya, just delving deeper into the optics as far as the role of Donald Trump is concerned, how significant is the Trump tribute? What's the political and public reaction to his profile being highlighted in Tel Aviv?
Well, it is quite significant. I think Trump has had a very incredible role in settling this kind of a crisis in the Middle East. You know, it was 2 years ago on 7th of October 2023 in a terror attack. Israel.
Right, we seem to be having a little trouble connecting with my colleague Aditya Raj Kaul. Arjun is still with us, joining us live from the newsroom with a recap of all that's taking place and live updates on what is expected. Arjun, can you take us through the mood at the Tel Aviv beach at the moment? What are the families of the hostages expecting? What are they saying in their latest sound bites? Give us a sense of the mood currently.
Well, speaking of the hostages, Parmeshwar, of course, it's a sense of relief, but it has come at a massive cost, not just to the hostages' families, but also to the political establishment. And just taking on from where our colleague Aditya left us, and he was talking about Donald Trump and his role. Now, very interestingly, Parmeshwar, the hostage release, the entire timing has been very, very carefully choreographed. In relation to when Trump actually lands in Israel. And remember, it's a very short visit. It's barely a 4-hour visit, 3.5 hours at top when Trump will be there in Israel. He'll be addressing the Knesset. And we're also getting to learn that Trump, he might have missed on the Nobel Peace Prize last week, but he's being awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor by Isaac Herzog, the Israeli president. Well, that's also planned. Apart from that, of course, the latest that we are picking up is that the first set of Israeli hostages to be released will be a set of 6 hostages. And as Aditya was rightly pointing out, they will be the exchange between Hamas and the Red Cross will take place at Khan Yunis, after which the IDF will transport these freed hostages to the Raim Air Base in southern Israel, where they will meet their families. There'll be also a quick ID check and a verification. After that, they will be airlift and transported to hospitals for further medical care. Back to you.